Hello, 你好, welcome back. 欢迎回来 to Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger. Today's date is March 15, 2023. And as it's common for the past few episodes, before we begin, I'm going to quickly mention that if you are interested in my artwork, I have been posting some short videos of my Tiger tactile style of drawing. And if you're interested in those, uh, they will be on display and for purchase this Saturday, March 18, here in British Columbia at Century House in New Westminster. Century House is located in Moody Park, and the artwork will be on display from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Spruce Room. Spruce, yes, like the tree, spruce. So Spruce Room, Century House, New Westminster, Saturday, March 18th. Hopefully, you'll see some of you there. Now, speaking of art, of course, some of you might have remembered me mentioning uh, this year I am uh, setting foot into the world of professional fine arts, becoming more or less, I guess, professional uh, artist. That still sounds so weird on my tongue, but anyway, I guess if I'm selling art and getting into art shows, I guess it's okay to say I'm a professional artist. Um, so obviously, art has been heavily on my mind uh, this especially this last few weeks with the pending art show, which actually I almost forgot to mention that. A bit of good news today, I received an email that I have been selected for yet another art show. So one of my artwork will be on display at a gallery for the next 3 to 4 months. Um, whether which galleries will be, location, and all the pertinent information. I will mention that as it become available to me. Right now, I'm still in the dark myself. All I have is a congratulatory letter that said you have been selected for the exhibition. So, like I said, art has been really big on my mind. So today I want to talk to you guys about a very unique artist in Chinese history. This artist claimed that he could see ghosts, and in fact, he's made a massive fortune by drawing the ghost that he saw. Now, whether if he really saw ghosts or not, obviously, none of us can verify because this guy has passed away long ago. The man in question, his name is Luo Pin. Luo Pin. Just for the sake of easy narration, from here on forth, we'll call him Robin. Luo Pin, Robin. Yeah, makes sense, right? Luo Pin, Robin. So Robin was born in 1732 in China. Back during the last dynasty, the Qing dynasty in China, there were 8 artists that collectively were known as the Yangzhou Eight Weirdos, or the 8 Weirdos of Yangzhou, Yangzhou Baguai, Yangzhou Baguai, the 8 Weirdos of Yangzhou. And yes, that's the same Yangzhou as the famous Yangzhou fried rice you see in Chinese food, Chinese restaurant. 8 Weirdos of Yangzhou were 8 artists throughout the Qing dynasty that were so famous and popular because of how weird and different their art styles were. So they were collectively called the 8 Weirdos of Yangzhou. And Robin, Luo Pin, was one of them. He was the youngest of them. Now let's start from the beginning. Like I said, Robin was born in 1732. His father passed away when he was very, very young, and he grew up with his mom and his two brothers. Obviously, the family was really, really poor because Robin's mom was the only one who could work and try to support her children. So, from a very young age, Robin made a promise to himself that he would study hard and become a very famous person so he could give back to his mom. And indeed, he studied very, very hard, learned literature, learned geography and philosophy, and he learned how to make beautiful artwork, how to write poetry. He was a great scholar, even at a young age, so much so that by the time when he was 15, Robin already became the special guest at one of the biggest salt merchant in Yangzhou. Now, we've talked briefly about salt merchant before. Selling salt in the old days was a big deal. Like salt merchants were usually some of the richest family throughout Chinese history, because salt is such a commodity, especially back then. So a lot of time, these salt tycoons, they would invite very distinguished people to come and join their parties and come eat with them and stay at their houses so they can feel like they were cultured, feel like they were important, and they would have like great musicians and great poets and great martial artists, and like anyone with special talent were usually invited to uh, dine and party and uh, be patroned by these uh, huge tycoons. So our boy Robin, by the time he was 15, he had already received an invitation from one of the largest salt merchant family to become their special guest. So he often would appear at their parties and dinner tables and uh, uh, regale them, entertain them with his beautiful artwork and poetry and how intelligent he was. You can say that that was when his life really took off and took a turn for the better. Up until 15, he grew up in this poor family, being raised by just his mom, and was always uh, poverty stricken. But once he got to be recognized by his patron, the salt merchant, then he became very instantly popular. By the time he was 20 years old, he met the love of his life, a woman named Fang, who was his soulmate for most of their life. Fang happened to come from a very, very wealthy family, and she used her family's wealth and influences to really help uh, Robin to excel in whatever he wanted to do. The two of them would often be seen hand in hand walking among the trees in the woods, going hiking or walking on the beach, talking about poetry, philosophy, geography, astrology. They were not just lovers, they were best friends, they were soulmates, they were compatible in every intellectual level. And pretty soon they were married and they seemed happy together. And things were just starting for Robin, because by the time he was 24, he ran into one of the greatest art master of its time, a guy named Mr. Jin Long, uh, translated Golden Dragon. Yeah, I know that's kind of weird name for a guy, but I'm not even fooling you. That was his name. Mr. Jin Long was one of the greatest artists, greatest art master of his time. And he asked Robin, would Robin be willing to study under him and became his disciple. And of course, no one would ever say no to that. Like if the greatest of something, like if the greatest martial artist in the world come and ask me if I would study under him, I, yeah, not going to say no, right? Um, so Mr. Jilong took Robin under his wing and made what already was impressive talent, made his impressive talent even better, perfected his techniques, taught him new things. And one of the things that Mr. Jinlong taught Robin was to be a good artist. You can't just stay home and draw every day. Yeah, you can't just stay home and draw every day like Johnny Tiger. You have to get out there and travel and see the world. Yeah, you got to. The more you see, the more your art will come alive. Yeah, good thing that he wasn't blind like me, huh? So anyway, Robin, taking his master's advice, left home and went traveling. And it was around this time when he kind of went weird. Okay, what do I mean by that? Up to this point, most of Robin's drawings were your typical mountains and oceans and lakes and beaches and forests and birds and animals and nature and uh, scenes of uh, festivity and happiness and firework and very standard, very common of his era. But something happened to him during his travel, and when he returned, he started telling people that he could see ghosts. And his, his paintings, his pictures became disturbing, horrifying, twisted, ghostly images of half flayed, half skinned bodies and skeletons and uh, weird twisting shapes of torture and torment. His style totally changed because he said these were the things that he saw. He said he could see ghosts and he was drawing ghosts. This at first seemed like a lousy idea, right? I mean, everyone around you is drawing these cheerful, beautiful trees and flowers, and you're drawing well, what essentially to be Halloween, except in China they didn't celebrate Halloween. Um, you wouldn't think that it would sell, and in fact, his paintings and pictures were banned from a lot of polite societies, a lot of polite circles. However, his fame grew like wildfire. His ghost pictures, his pictures of ghouls and zombies and scary stuff, quickly gained traction and became highly valued, uh, gained almost like a cult status. So many people, rich people, famous people, even while they publicly condemned his artwork as being too disturbing, they secretly wanted them and collected them. He has never been surpassed ever since he invented his ghost drawing, even to this day. And this new style, this new ghostly style, gained him a massive fortune uh, almost instantaneously. And I mean, as an artist myself, I'm going to just quickly say this that it's almost seemed like a bit of a fluke, right? I mean, drawing ghosts is in some ways the easiest thing you can do because no one can dispute with you like if you're accurate or not. If you draw something like a dog or a cat, if the proportion is off by a little bit, someone is going to point it out. But if you say, I can see ghosts and this is what I see, well, who's going to be able to argue with you? So he actually got himself a very nice gimmick going on there. And like I said, his fame, Robin's fame, grew instantaneously and he became extremely wealthy. Unfortunately, it was this wealth that started his downhill uh, his decline in his life. Not accustomed to the rich lifestyle, Robin became an alcoholic. He spent his days whoring, drinking, squandering money away, gambling. He wasn't even there when his soulmate and his wife Fang died of illness at home. He wasn't even there for her because he was so busy outside spending the money that came with his fame. And not accustomed to managing his wealth, he very quickly ran out of money and became so poor that he didn't even have enough money to travel back to his hometown, to go back home. He had to become a beggar to beg and travel back to his home, uh, to to his family. Once he got back home and was living the poverty-stricken lifestyle again, Robin's style once again went through a metamorphosis, and his style changed. Rather than drawing these scary scenes of torture and hell and ghost, he became a very good painter of Buddhist imageries, and he became good at drawing uh, Buddhas and gods and goddesses. He was hired regularly to touch up the statues and paintings in monasteries and temples. Unfortunately, even though his godly, holy drawings were really good, they never gained the same kind of fame as his ghost drawings did. And Robin eventually passed away in 1799 at the age of 67. Sorry, frog in my throat. Kind of sad, um, that he gained the fame he wanted, but he squandered it away and spent the rest of his life in regret and poverty, and being an alcoholic. But yeah, he passed away in 1799 at the age of 67. He never did get his fame back. He never got a second chance to make another fortune. His fame burned like a very beautiful shooting star streaking across the sky, bright and fierce, but it was momentary. Now, could he really see ghosts? Well, like I said, no one really know. But uh, personally, I think Robin played to his strengths because Robin was a really strange-looking fellow. Historical account says Robin has one eye that was normal and the other eye was green. So he had a like dark, like black eye, like a regular Chinese person's eye, and then he had a green eye. And his other eye was green. So ever since he was little, he has been bullied and laughed at by people, and there were people who said that people with different colored eyes are half human, half demon, and he must be able to interact with the demon world or with the ghost, with the underworld. So my conjecture, personally speaking, I'm thinking that when he was traveling, he got told that by people so much. He heard people talking about his eyes being different colored and he must be weird and he must be half demon. Maybe he decided, hey, you know what? I can change my eyes, but maybe I can play to my strengths. Maybe I can just play along with them, tell them, yes, I am half demon, I can see ghosts, and these are the ghosts that I'm seeing. I'm going to paint them for you. And yeah, his ghost paintings were so popular that, like I said, they were never surpassed since he passed away. If you watch Chinese movies or read Chinese literature or read Asian comic books today, you most of the depictions of ghosts in Chinese literature, no matter what shape or form, ones that with long, dangly tongue and coming out of their mouth, and the tall, skinny ghost hanging by the neck, and the white ghost, ghostly shape, the woman in red, and the ghost with a skinless body and all that stuff. These are not anything new. Most of modern depictions of ghosts in Chinese media were taken directly from paintings and documentations left over from when Robin used to draw them. So even though he died as a drunk and a poverty stricken person, his artwork is still influencing Chinese media and Chinese culture to this day. Thank you for checking out today's Wisdom Wednesday. I hope today's story was somewhat entertaining, and I'll be back again tomorrow for some Toy Thursday. In the meantime, keep tuned, keep your eyes open for some short videos of artworks, action figures, and other quirky stuff that I just happen to think about. And if you want, you can follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter using @JohnnyTiger1981. Thank you, 谢谢, and 再见.